Imagine a company that, for decades, was the largest distance retailer in Europe, a company known to nearly every German household, a business that sold to millions of people long before Amazon existed, and yet disappeared, unable to survive a new reality. This is the story of Quelle, one of the greatest retail giants of the 20th century and one of the most significant bankruptcies in German retail history. Quelle was founded in 1927 in the city of Fürth, Bavaria. Its founder was Gustav Schickedanz. He was not an engineer or an inventor. He was the son of a small shop owner who had grown up watching how retail worked. His idea was not technological, it was logistical. Instead of building stores, he decided to bring the store directly to people through the mail. In the 1920s, Germany was suffering from economic instability after World War I. Many people lived in small towns and rural areas with limited access to goods. Schickedanz realized that if people could not come to the store could come to them. That idea became Quelle, a mail-order company. The early catalogs were simple, black and white, offering clothing and basic household goods. But the model worked. Customers placed orders by mail, paid after delivery, and trusted the brand. By the 1930s, Quelle had already become one of Germany's largest mail-order retailers. World War II nearly destroyed the business. Warehouses were damaged, logistics collapsed, and the country lay in ruins. But after 1945, Quelle became part of West Germany's economic miracle. As people rebuilt their homes and bought everything from scratch, the Quelle catalog became a symbol of a new, peaceful life. During the 1950s and 1960s, the company grew at an explosive pace. Catalogs were printed in massive numbers. At peak years, more than 10 to 12 million copies per season. For many families, the catalog was more than advertising. It was kept for years, reread, and shared with neighbors. People ordered clothing, furniture, household appliances, toys, radios, and televisions through Quelle. Quelle invested heavily in warehouses and logistics and introduced installment and credit programs for customers. The company knew its customers by name and maintained detailed customer databases long before the digital age. By scale, this was no longer just a mail-order business, it was a retail empire. By the 1970s, Quelle became part of the Karstadt Quelle group, alongside the Karstadt department store chain. It was one of the largest retail conglomerates in Europe, tens of thousands of employees, millions of customers across Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Eastern Europe. Annual revenues measured in tens of billions of Deutsche Marks. But this was also the moment when the business model began to age. Catalog retail is extremely expensive. Printing, paper, photography, distribution, returns, and massive warehouses. The system works only as long as sales keep growing, but in the 1990s, consumer behavior began to change. People wanted faster, cheaper, and more flexible shopping. Then came the Internet. Quelle did not completely ignore it, but it systematically underestimated it. Online stores were launched late and without real strategic focus. The core business remained the printed catalog, which continued to be produced in the millions even as its effectiveness declined. At the same time, the Karstadt Quelle Group made a series of strategic mistakes. It tried to maintain the old catalog model, support struggling department stores, expand into new markets, and service growing debt. All at once. Management became slow and bureaucratic. Decisions took years instead of months. The organization could not adapt to the pace of change. In the 2000s, costs rose faster than revenues. Sales declined. Warehouses filled with unsold inventory. Debt continued to grow. Meanwhile, online competitors operated without printed catalogs, without massive fixed costs, and with far lower prices. The global financial crisis of 2008 delivered the final blow. Access to credit tightened. Consumer demand fell sharply. In 2009, the Arcandor Group, which owned Quelle, filed for insolvency. Quelle officially declared bankruptcy. At the time of the collapse, group debts amounted to several billion euros. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. The legendary catalog, once a fixture in nearly every German household, disappeared from mailboxes. This was not the failure of a bad idea, nor a purely technical mistake. Quelle did not fail because it was born too early. It failed because it stayed too long in the past, trying to preserve a model that no longer matched reality. This is a story about how even massive scale, decades of dominance, and the trust of millions of customers cannot save a business that fails to change in time. Quelle did not lose to Amazon directly. It lost to its own inertia. And that is why its collapse is still studied in business schools today, as a reminder that in retail, the winner is not the one who was first, but the one who adapts in time.